Hello, chat. This is Magic Fish Radio. We do tabletop RPG streams on Tuesdays and Saturday nights. On Tuesday nights, we do Vampire the Masquerade, Eldritch Adversaries, which is V5, but set in the 1920s, so all that new lore hasn't happened yet. Or has it? On alternating Saturday nights, I run Exit to Eden, which is NWAD in space. So, as you could, we're a very D10-based channel right now.
But this isn't that.
This isn't that, because this month I have been sick far less often, and so we are actually doing an indie RPG one-shot night, which was the whole plan, and then my spoony life interfered. So with that, is there anything else I need to announce right now? Nope. I'll just interrupt Merc later. Let's go over to Merc, who has known about this game for a whole week longer than the rest of us, which makes her the expert.
Hi, yes, I'm Merc. Currently tonight playing Dr. D. Livingston. So the game we're playing tonight is called A Response to the Esteemed Dr. Crackpot. It's a story of academic rivalries. What's going to happen is we're all going to have a topic, and we're all going to have different opinions about the topic. Not necessarily opposing, but like different opinions. And we are all convinced that our views are the correct one. We are going to prove this in a series of articles, which we will read the précis of to you. Read is a strong word. Normally this game would be played by writing stuff down and then, reading it out loud or something like that. But since this is a, Zoom game you're watching on Twitch, you don't want to have to sit here watching us write stuff down. So we will just be speaking the précis of our paper to you aloud. Some rules of order for the players. The game ends when somebody gets too personal to be published in a serious scientific journal. So the round ends anyway. So when somebody gets too personal, the round ends. Normally the round ends and that's it. Whoever got too personal loses. But we will add one on-stream thing. We will roll 1d6 because there are 3 of us. Chris will be 1, 2. Josh will be 3, 4, and I'll be 5, 6. Whoever wins the die roll won the ensuing fist fight at a conference and gets to describe what happened and who called the police, why, and what happened after that. At that point, we will then switch to a new topic. We currently have a channel points, yes, leading into channel points. Because this is a small stream, we're not asking you for money. Because everybody needs their dollars and cents right now. So instead we have enabled channel points. For, I believe, 150 channel points, you may suggest a new topic that we will be writing papers on. We reserve the right to not do topics because A, if we run out of time, B, if we run out of spoons, or C, if the topic is objectionable or hateful. Trans people are people, aliens did not build the pyramids,
I mean, I would be willing to debate the pyramids thing, but trans rights are human rights, and guess where we got this game, everyone?
We got this particular game from the Bundle for Trans Rights in Texas currently, although I believe that fund will extend to other places if they get enough money. Currently the courts have filed an injunction against that, but we'll see what happens. So
if you haven't seen our other streams before, none of our trans players are with us tonight, but yeah, trans rights are human rights.
Yep.
Although it's basically me and the 2 players that cross-play the most. Well, as far as I know, you're both cisgendered, but, we are not really strict on gender norms here because they're kind of arbitrary and annoying. So yeah, but we reserve. I have set a limit to 20 suggestions with channel points. I might extend that if we go through rapid fire, but yeah. So we're gonna play for about 90 minutes, and then depending on our spoons, we might take a break and keep going, or we might just say goodnight.
Yep.
But yeah, we reserve the right to edit or vibe check your suggestions.
Yes. And you're Your suggestions are simply topics on which we will write. We will each take a stance upon it and argue our stance. For instance, the topic we'll be starting out with tonight is, what is the correct plural of octopus? So we will each be writing our papers on the correct plural of octopus, and or tearing down our opponent's papers about that same topic.
You know, I can't tell right now if I'm relieved or disappointed that Puka isn't here tonight, because they are actually a professor of linguistics, and but they would like do a real argument, and then we'd have to like, but that's a real argument.
Yes. No. To be
also,
fair, I thought of this topic.
Just have an aneurysm, which I also don't want to see happen at all, let alone live on stream.
Yeah. I wasn't even sure what the topic was going to be until my mouth. Anyway, it's just what occurred. So that's what we'll be discussing first. After that, I hope we will have some suggestions from chat, but if we don't, we can always think of more topics.
By the way, if you like linguistic nerdery, please join our Discord. I have dropped a link in the chat. Because, again, we have at least one professor of linguistics and other, not yet professors.
Dracus Freeze is taking Latin as a focus topic in their studies. So
verbing nouns seems to have a lot of excuse me, a lot of opinions on linguistics too.
I mean, verbing nouns is a polyling. So,
I don't remember what that means.
Verbing nouns knows a bunch of languages.
Oh, okay, yeah. So if you like linguistic nerdery, come join our Discord. Also, if you are an indie TTRPG writer, designer, developer, etc., join our Discord if you want us to play a one-shot of your game on stream. You can be in it. You can be running it. Like, we'll work it out. We are chill and we like playing new games. Especially me, because I probably won't ever be going to cons ever again, until there's a cure for COVID, which there won't be, so sucks to be me. Anyway, octopuses, octopi, oh Jesus.
Octopodes.
Octopodes. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. So when we start the round, we'll announce our stances on it, and then I guess we can roll to see who goes first if you care to, or whoever wants to take the first, write the first paper.
So basically, we're not so much writing papers to each other as we are just reciting them, because
we're reciting the précis, which is the first paragraph or two, so between 30 seconds and a minute of talking. Get your digs in while you can. If you decide to team up with somebody, and you get their permission, you can list them as a collaborator on your paper. So remember to when you start, it's the title of your paper. If you have any collaborators, that's when you list them, and then the first paragraph or two that summarizes your paper and your points, basically the opening.
So how grounded in reality do our answers have to be?
They don't. I don't care about reality. I just care about it being the journalistic standards of the paper, of the
So it basically comes down to be as objectively, but also I'm always right as possible, and don't do personal attacks at the other players or the round ends.
Yes. So it has to be professional. So like literally, one of the things you can do if you're stuck for a response is cite older work, especially your own, to reinforce your points, or cite older work, your rivals, to denigrate their points. If it falls below the standards of the journalistic paper, the round end, the journalistic standards of the publication, the round will end, and we'll roll to see who wins the fist fight. One more rule of order. I'm not sure if I did this before, but I'll say it again if I have. These are papers. This isn't a debate. Don't interrupt other people. You'll have to wait your turn to do your response. If you have a point you want to respond to, write it down or type it up.
Or we can recite as in, "Dear Professor Livingston, I have read your thing," and blah.
That's personal. That's personal. That's a letter. That's personal. You are addressing that person. No. Consider
So I can reference
in his paper.
Yeah.
In his paper, the work of the work of Democritus in the the extended works of Democritus, as reviewed by Dr. Dr. makes the point that Democritus was a free-loving individual. However, in this paper by my name, that point is refuted, and soundly so. Like you're addressing your opponent's older work, you're addressing your opponent's points. Like if they make the point that I don't know, Democritus was clearly a monogamist, only had one. I don't know. I pulled the name out of thin air. I'm just
How could a monogamist know anything about octopods?
I'm not making a point about octopods. I'm making a point about Democritus. Whatever the point is, and whatever the point they made in their paper, you take that point and you go, okay, here's the evidence for that point being incorrect, and also my point is correct. Bonus points for using your own work to prove that their point is incorrect. But you can also make up papers by other people to cite them as making their thing incorrect. But if you directly address somebody, that is a personal, directly address them, or, my esteemed, make references to them. My esteemed colleague who is clearly a clown and an idiot, that's a personal attack. Too personal for a journalist, for, the journalistic standards and paper of the publication. Does that make sense?
Yes, but I'm definitely going to screw this up the first few times.
That's fine. We'll have, this is where we're getting topics from chat. So.
Well, there are 5 people watching us. I hope someone... Well, unless they're brand new people who don't have channel points yet. Sorry, I maximized your
point gain.
Point gain. Chat, if anyone's having trouble spending channel points, please tell me, because a few people, like Dracus was having trouble with it, and I'm like,
Fadior.
They're a moderator. They should not be having problems with this. So chat, Twitch has been extra twitchy. Yay.
Yep.
Anyway, who wants to start?
So we'll start the round. So the topic is what the proper pluralization of octopus is, and we'll each state our position, and then whoever wants to go first can go first. That way people don't have to guess what our positions are from our papers, because sometimes it's not always clear. I mean, it should be if you're writing a good paper, but I'm not a great writer, so.
But we can also just I'm going to be taking notes so I can reference other people's papers, but
yeah.
I could just improv this. And you want us to go for about a minute, since we're not writing things down?
Yeah, anywhere from 30 seconds to a minute.
Yeah.
Okay.
How long it would take you to read 2 paragraphs aloud?
Well, I have my timer going, so I will hold up my pen when it's a minute.
Man, I'm getting flashbacks to academic decathlon. They do the same thing. When you did speech in there, they hold up like flags saying 45
hold
seconds.
Up my spoon.
There you go.
AKA Moo's battle axe. Anyway, all right.
So
does anyone want to take the first plunge?
Okay. We'll go ahead and start by saying our positions to make sure that we all know our positions and who's in opposition to them. So my position as the proper plural of octopus is octopuses.
Okay. My position is that the correct plural of octopus is octoplaya. Professor Neme?
Yep, I was just
Dr.
taking
Neme.
notes.
Sorry.
My position is the correct pluralization of octopus is octopodus.
Okay, so Rochambeau goes first.
Or you could just roll the d6 since we already have numbers.
Okay. Remember, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 5, 6. Okay, I'm going first.
Woot.
All right. So, on the proper pronunciation of the plural of octopuses, this paper seeks to demonstrate the proper pluralization of the word octopus as octopuses, as put forward by my esteemed colleague, Dr. Renee Wimbledon. The octopus, while it is a borrowed word from the Greek octo, meaning 8, and pus, referring to feet. Clearly, it has been Americanized into a more American word, and therefore uses the English es to indicate a plural octopus. That is to say that there is more than one octopus present. This pluralization is the most correct, as it is the most commonly used today, and it is seen in many American schools. That is the one that is taught. So clearly, since it is the most commonly accepted pluralization, it is the most correct one, because that is how language works. I am losing my accent. While I have my Aunt Dahlia, while I have heard from my detractors that there are more correct ways to spell the plural of octopus, I maintain that this is the correct one. In addition, I will prove through linguistic machinations that any other spellings of the plural of octopus are simply populist, academic shenanigans designed to, not shenanigans, academic chicanery designed to keep the masses from properly using their words. I give up on an accent.
I forgot to set the timer.
Cool, because I'm out of words.
Okay.
That's it.
That sounded like more than a minute. I was too busy taking notes. I'll just write it down. Okay.
Cool.
Okay. Are we going clockwise? Counterclockwise? How do we want to do it?
Do you want to go next, or?
I'm happy either way.
Okay. We can roll again.
How about we flip a coin? I don't have a coin. Actually, I do have a coin.
D2!
I do have a D2.
Or just evens odds on the D6.
Shush. I have a D2.
I have a D6. Or we need to wait for the D2. No, I snooze, you lose.
Here we go.
1, 2, 3, I'll go.
D2.
Fine. I actually rolled the D6 and rolled a 1. And I was going low. I picked low, but.
So does that mean it's me?
Sadly, it means it's me.
I thought I was 1, 2. Okay.
No. He was doing low high as opposed to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Okay.
Yeah.
First, we will debate on how to roll dice.
I mean, this is a game for debate.
Okay, go.
It's Greek to me. A paper by Dr. Nemec. Naturally, octopus is a word referring to an 8-legged sea creature, which has long been used in English. But as these things go, we often use the earlier linguistic roots when pluralizing borrowed words. And octopus, with a third declension Greek ending, naturally should be pluralized as per the Greek. As been seen multiple times, the Greek US ending, when used in third declension, uses a plural of eds. Thus, octopodes should be the correct pronunciation of octopus when you are attempting to be correct rather than merely populist. Of course, a linguist using observation can use that to simply describe what is going on, and that will work in 90% of the cases. But I put forward that in the 10% of the cases where the populace is not correct, one should instead go with the correct approach. Thank
you. Okay. That was longer than a minute, but not by much, because I forgot to watch again. Oh my god. I am such a bad referee. Okay.
I mean, I'm just... Like, it's not... it doesn't have to be terribly long. Like, there's no set time limit or whatever. We're just trying to get, 2 paragraphs read out at this point. So,
one needs to allow enough room to be snippy.
Yes, exactly. You got to get your digs in.
So, Pluralization of the Octopus by Professor Chrysala. It has long been debated by the academic community of the correct pluralization of the word octopus. Some of my peers take a more populist model of linguistics, being that might, the linguistic equivalent of might makes right. Others follow the tenets of ancient language roots to their logical conclusions. However, I have made the discovery that since that as far as the fossil record that I have studied, it is very unlikely that the octopus as it exists today did exist in ancient Greece. Therefore, the Greek roots may not hold. The first... You said I could go out the window on this one. I'm gonna do it. Therefore, my proposal is that the correct pronunciation is octoplaya, because as the country of Spain makes the best octopus dishes, they have clearly had the most practice at it. And thus, this must be where the octopus originated, and thus, a group of octopi, according to some local folklore, is a playa, because, well, they wash up on the beach, and that's how they catch them. The word playa also being synonymous with the word beach. And that was 2 minutes.
That was 2 minutes.
You said it didn't have any basis in reality. I went balls to the wall.
Hey, David, and you?
Hey, Dave! We're debating... Well, we'll see if we get it. We're debating a real topic in nonsensical... Well, in my case, nonsensical ways.
Yes, we sadly chose both the correct answer, which is Merc, and the almost correct answer, which is me, and the ridiculous answer, which is Chris. It's great.
Silly pot.
But the thing is, we're all playing academics who are firmly convinced that our interpretation of the subject, in this case, the correct plural of octopus, is the only correct one. So we're currently engaged in writing scientific papers in the same linguistics journal, publication journal, having, an academic slap fight about this.
I'm really
and the first person to make a personal attack upon one of their opponents ends the round, and then we roll to see who wins the ensuing fist fight at a conference.
Okay. Is that the whole round, though? That we got through three abstracts without attacking?
No, we keep going.
We keep going until one of us makes a mistake.
Okay.
Because now we have papers we can refer back to.
Yes! Now we all have papers we can refer to. I had to make up all this bullshit on my own.
Okay, should we still try to limit it to a minute?
I would say 2 minutes at this point. Now we have papers to reference because you had to get your licks in, and it took you about 2 minutes.
Okay, so remember, chat. You can use channel points to suggest new subject topics for when we inevitably screw this up. Or rather, I inevitably screw this up.
I mean, I am also equally likely to screw this up, honestly.
You know what I'm gonna do? I'm going to use my timer as an actual, like, 2-minute timer and just write down what time we're having break. Because I'm not gonna remember this. Okay, so break will probably be about 9 p.m. 8:50.
There.
So I'm just gonna write that down and then start using my timer as an actual timer. Okay, so let's go 2 minutes. Who wants to go next? Or should we just go in the same
keep
order?
the rotation?
Yeah, let's keep the rotation.
Okay.
Okay. Then a correction about the pluralization of octopuses by Dr. D. Livingston. The correct pluralization of octopus is octopuses. This point has been made before in this publication. However, in the journal entry, it's Greek to, I don't know how you pronounce it. Anyway, sorry. I don't know how you would refer to journal papers.
Oh, I see.
In a journal, anyway. In the paper, it's Greek to me, Dr. Nime makes the point that since octopus is a borrowed word from Greek, it should therefore get the Greek ending of octopodes. However, this has been factually proven incorrect by Dr. Richard Wright's treatise on the education of young children, published 1913 for the educators General Educator's Handbook, which is still in use today. As such, though the populist view is therefore the populist view has to be the most correct one because it is the one that everybody uses. Since there is a general consensus that the plural octopus is octopuses and not octopodes, this guarantees, therefore, that using octopuses is the most correct way to refer to a group of them because it will ensure that nobody is confused about what you're referring to. Usage of octopodes may cause confusion, especially in people who have been gone through the general education system of this country. Therefore, the attempt to use octopodes is elitist and exclusionary, and
Final
therefore
remarks.
Correct.
Okay.
So, in conclusion, octopuses, not octopodes. The other problem is none of us knows the exact level of personal attack might get you kicked out of a journalistic review, but
I think we know when we see it. What's the what was the title there?
A response to it's Greek to me. Octopuses. The pluralization of octopus is octopuses.
Okay. Let's see. Topic.
And you also have, I didn't write Miss Chris's paper name down, but the use of the Spanish pluralization instead of the Greek pluralization.
I think I just called it the pluralization of the octopus or something like that. Ooh, okay. Dave put Dave, did you use channel points for that? Because I kept saying use channel points for that.
Channel points is just so we can see it, really. I mean, if we caught it without it, but you know.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Dave. All right, we'll get to that. So if we break down this round, we can go on to something else to be weird about.
on circular and squiggly squiggly and submerged reasoning by Dr. Neme. This paper is an analysis of the language of several papers published in this esteemed journal, including pluralization of the octopus and response to its Greek to me. It attempts to show how the degradation of academic language over time, particularly on those spending too long gazing into the eyes and arms of the octopus, and how this is correlated with logic that is either excessively self-referential or indulgent to the point of creating flights of fancy rather than attempting to source itself in the original facts. Via chart statistics attempts to show how these things may relate to each other and may predict lapses in logic and essays in the future.
Okay.
Is that your whole thing?
Yep.
Okay.
It was long enough.
There you go.
Okay.
What was the top of my paper? I didn't write it down.
On circular, squiggly, and submerged reasoning.
Okay, thank you.
All right. What do I call mine?
Dr. Crackpot.
Okay. An attempt to placate our tentacled overlords by Professor Chrysala. I have been implored to expound upon my views on the proper pluralization of the word octopus, as there seems to be some debate in the academic community upon this subject. In the paper, A Response to It's Greek to Me, Dr. Livingston suggests again that populism informs reality directly. Unfortunately, saying an inaccurate piece of information as often as possible does not make it true. Education then must evolve as discoveries are made in the soft and hard sciences. Instead of allowing education to stagnate based on what is most comfortable and easiest. Furthermore, in squiggly and submerged reasoning, my contemporary, Dr. Neme, still firmly believes that the octopus is a creature that does not have an opinion on its own on what it should be called. In my own research, I have been contacted by our squiggly overlords themselves, informing me that their species first landed in Spain, and I'm out of time. Just okay. I don't know. Did that get a personal attack? I don't know. It was an attack. It just.
I don't know if it was a personal attack,
Yeah,
but we'll note that the use of I in an academic research paper is not really up to journalistic standards.
That's true. Okay. Well, we have a new topic, so if we want to roll the fist fight.
Yeah, let's roll the fist fight. That's a good.
Okay. All right. Rolling to see who won the fist fight. Let's see. 1. Chris, you won the fist fight. Describe for us what happened, how it started, and who called the cops.
So we were at a linguistic symposium, convention, whatever. And I think Dr. Rename came up to me and is like, "Are you okay?" And I said, "I am fine." And I held out my hand, and out came a force of chthonic, squiggly, tentacled might. As my Octoplian overlords have granted me some measure of power for representing their interests. At which point the police were called. I left the scene, and the authorities were not impressed with the description of events. It's like, so a lady attacked him with octopus powers? How long have you been at the hotel bar, sir and or madam? Yeah. So, I got away with it.
And the next time Professor Priscilla was seen was on Solomon Island. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. So we're not supposed to take this seriously, right?
No.
Okay, I did it somewhat right.
You did make it hard to respond to you, but it's not all right. Was in fact appropriate. Are you okay?
Well, the fun part is that if
I'm pretty
she's
sure
with Elder God, she's definitely not okay.
Yes, it's like Professor Dillings's next paper on the prevalence of brainworms as gotten via reading papers by the esteemed professors.
Have you the brainworms?
God, that's just the worst thing ever. It's the fact that you can actually get the
I'll bet
invaders on the other side by reading things. It's just the worst.
Mimetic parasites.
Yep.
I've seen that in a big LARP that it was rough. Anyway.
Okay.
And then there's Snow Crash.
So, David...
Holy Roman Empire. Neither holy nor Roman, nor particularly much of an empire. Discuss. So the Holy Roman Empire, I'm just going to write it down.
Do we want to pick topics, or do we want to just argue and have the topics come out as we go?
We have to write on a subject to start out with, and then we have to disagree on that topic. So the Holy Roman Empire, we have to decide what our position is on the Holy Roman Empire, and we have to try and prove ourselves that we are the most correct position on that gun.
Prove.
Yes.
I think I'm going to go with my starting position being the Holy Roman Empire was in fact a democracy.
Okay.
So if I don't know anything about a subject, I can't just make shit up. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, chat, you can give us more things to make shit up about.
Okay. And what's your position on the Holy Roman Empire? I'm going to say my position on the Holy Roman Empire is that it was actually a fever dream brought about by black fungus on rye.
We're really not taking this very seriously.
Collective hallucination caused by fungus.
Mine. is that the Holy Roman Empire was actually a was actually a shadow government set up by German vampires.
Okay.
And then obviously descended into factionalization and falling apart because, well, vampires can't do things during the day. Shadow governments can only go so far.
Okay. So we all have our academic positions on the Holy Roman Empire. Academic positions. All right, let's see who goes first. 2. Chris, you go first.
Woohoo! Okay.
Your position is it is a shadow government set up by vampires, which splintered because of a lack of sunlight, of too much sunlight. Mm-hmm. Which is ironic, I think, given its position. If I remember where it's located correctly.
So the paper is entitled Fang Bangers Across European History. I'll write that down. Because I didn't write it down last time. Okay, so we're starting with a 1-minute abstract.
Yep.
Okay. My paper will, this paper will prove beyond a shadow of a doubt the Holy Roman Empire was entirely an illusion of word of mouth, founded by Germanic vampires in the Dark Ages as an attempt to form an empire and expand their influence across Europe, through manipulation of political pawns and puppets in all the various courts thereof, but inevitably fell apart because, well, vampires can't go outside in the daytime, and in that era of history, that's when most things that needed doing got done. They were unable to control their puppets, they were unable to sway the feelings of the people, even as angry mobs, and eventually it just got to be too much work for them, when they would much rather just, hang out in their secret palaces, drinking the blood of courtesans. Thank you.
Alrighty.
Do you want to roll your D2?
I'll flip.
Yes, yep. Fang bangers. It's a thing. It's,
1 or 2.
It's in something.
Tails.
I've got 20 on one side and 1 on the other.
Oh, crits.
Okay.
Yeah, but which crit?
Call of Cthulhu, obviously. No, D&D.
Okay.
Yes, Fang
20.
Bangers are a thing.
That's me.
Fang Bangers is from True Blood. And maybe other stuff before that, I don't know. I haven't even finished watching True Blood.
As all records will show, I needed a paper.
Yes.
The Holy Roman Empire was a democracy.
Go.
So this paper will attempt to show the Holy Roman Empire was a democracy, examining the numerous records of Holy Roman Empire emperors being elected, and the 400-year reign of the Holy Roman Empire over significant parts of Europe, thus showing that due to the population, it was able to be the largest stable democracy before modern times, and that it eventually dissolved when, due to its size, democracy was unable to be maintained as the various people across Central and Eastern Europe could no longer meet in one place in order to vote.
Okay.
So, Tails, you go first.
1 or 2. 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 1 or 2 Okay.
Partially due to the Crusades, of course.
Okay. All right. So, let's see. My paper, I believe you're done. Yeah. Josh, that was your paper?
That was my paper.
Okay.
What? Oh yeah.
Sorry,
No,
I just want. Sorry, I want to make sure that you were done before I went in on mine.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Right. All right. Holy Roman Empire, a study on Bacillus fungi. This paper seeks to prove that the Holy Roman Empire was a collective hallucination brought about by tainted fungus of the time, tainted rye of the time with black fungus. Black fungus is commonly known to cause mass hallucinations. See doctors H&M Bulger, MD, in their paper in the Medical Journal of Science on their paper on fungi that may have caused the Salem witch trials. This same fungus is responsible for the mass hallucination of the Holy Roman Empire. Any records from that time period are vastly degraded and damaged, largely because they were never properly sealed to begin with, as the fungus tends to cause paranoia and hysteria, as well as hallucinations. There is, of course, no doubt that the fungus causes hallucinations of what the people fear most, and clearly an empire spanning the entire region in which the fungus affected could be the only thing that the locals would be afraid of, because they did not wish to be annexed by anybody. Even in the current world of Arab orders, most nations resist being annexed by other nations. Therefore, this widespread hysteria caused by the fungus that became local to the region when massive floods damaged the grain stores for decades, is responsible for any and all rumors, allegations, and references to the Holy Roman Empire. That's my paper.
Okay. Hi, Fadir. Or no, that's not Fadir. That's you again. Okay. Remember, chat, you can spend channel points. I'm not sure I'm gonna force people to spend channel points anymore, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean...
Because it doesn't seem like many of our regulars are actively watching right now, and, like, we need suggestions.
Yep.
So chat, just if you have and chat's pretty slow tonight, so just if you have a suggestion for a topic for us to debate, just give us one. We do still reserve the right to edit them, to not be shitty.
Yeah.
Crackpot is fine, but, shitty anti-people's rights bullshit is, no.
Yeah.
Alright, so up to 2 minutes for rebuttals, I guess starting with me.
Yep.
My newest paper is entitled, Vampires, Experts of Smoke Screens and Cover-Ups.
Mark, what was the name of your last paper?
He didn't write it down.
Holy Roman Empire, a study on bacillus fungi?
Yes.
I have been writing them down, because, yeah.
I write down your guys's, but I don't write down my own.
Okay, so...
Oh, fix that, but...
my second paper is vampires, experts on smoke screens and cover-ups. While it has become common knowledge that the Holy Roman Empire is subject to debate upon its very existence, there are many different concepts on just how deeply the illusion went. Or just how deeply this illusion is buried. Some state that, well, it wasn't an empire because it was a democracy. Technically, it was a republic. Others claim it was a full-on massive hallucination based on a black fungus outbreak in rye storage. These are both skirting around these are not incorrect, but are skirting around the main issue. Holy Roman Empire was established as a republic because it made it that much easier for the shadow government of vampires to control the voting process, with a much smaller number of voters relegated to the upper classes and those of alleged noble blood, and vampires themselves would be able to verify the nobility of the blood. Likewise, as documents began to fall apart over the ages, it was because, well, those vampires did not want their activities traced or verified, as they wanted to maintain their secrecy in the modern Nites. So it is my understanding that the black rye fungus was either spread or fabricated by vampires who wanted to hide their complicity in the downfall of the Holy Roman Empire, which was mostly because, again, vampires have trouble traveling during the daytime and have trouble finding places to sleep in safety of sunlight during the day. Therefore, as the voting meetings moved around Europe, the vampires centered in Germany were not able to attend, and finally these things fell apart because human nobility really can't run itself. Thank you. I went a bit over 2 minutes, but I like the sound of my own voice.
It's fine.
Okay.
On the nature of fear and hallucination. This paper will endeavor to show that the primary fears throughout history, as seen in records of the Holy Roman Empire, which was in fact a republic. Footnote: see vampires, experts in smoke screens, and cover-ups. Have numerous references to people throughout Central and Eastern Europe being afraid not of empires, as the average person was mostly worried about oppression by their lord and neighboring lords, but in fact of vampires. And therefore references throughout vampires seem most likely to have been created by ingestion of black mold rather than anything to do with empires. Thank you. I'm done.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So, my paper is entitled Holy Roman Empire, a collection of stories spread throughout the ages. This paper will prove, without beyond a shadow of a doubt, that the Holy Roman Empire was a collective hallucination brought about by black mold. In Holy Roman Empire, a democracy, Dr. Nene states that there are records of the emperors being elected, and that large numbers of people gathered in specific places to vote. This point is incorrect. It is clearly stated in Fang Bangers Across European History that the population of the area remained largely static in its place because travel across the area was difficult. The people who traveled across the area were largely merchants, bringing food from field to stores and back again as people needed it. This food, exposed to unsafe conditions, fell prey to the mold to which rye is so well known. Additionally, the idea that the idea brought forward in Fang Bangers Across European History by Professor Chrysela, that the Holy Roman Empire was brought about by Germanic vampires is patently incorrect, because there is no compelling evidence to suggest that vampires exist. However, there is much compelling proof to suggest that black rye exists. See H.G. Bulger's M.D. in the Medical Journal of Science, published 1913, for their work on the Salem witch trials. Clearly, neither the points brought up in the aforementioned papers are working from suspect data sources, and as such, require any future papers by these authors would require a review board before being published in such a distinguished journal as the Journal of Historical Accuracy. And then
that may have gotten personal enough.
Yeah, I think that got a little personal. But at both of us. Actually, it was personal. I forget. I'm still the biggest crackpot here. So, well, between me and Josh, I'm the crackpot. Between Chrysela and Livingston, I'm not sure.
I mean, we all staked out positions that were patently wrong to start with. I just started evolving over time. I never actually got to the Holy Roman Empire as a confederation, which was actually correct. But
that's true. Really, confederation, not a republic? Okay.
Yeah, because republics require representatives elected by the people. It was a confederation because you had representatives of specific kingdoms that were then voting to elect a quasi overlord.
Mm-hmm. But those representatives were not themselves elected because
they were not.
Classism. Overt classism. All right.
Great. Do you want to go one more on this topic, or do you want to roll to see who got in the fist fight?
We should roll.
Yeah. I'm okay with doing like 2 rounds, unless we're like really into it, and then we just keep going.
Okay. All right, rolling for fist fight. 2. Chris wins again. Chris also wins this fist fight.
I burn for potence. Does the winner describe the fight again?
Yeah, yeah. And who, if anyone, calls the cops?
I think in this case, Dr. Livingston is more like, really? Vampires? Really?
Honestly, learn to... excuse me. I can't... I can't bullshit on command and also do an accent.
That is not a requirement. And
none of us turn out to be secret vampires in this version.
Well, I was getting to that. At which point, I try some onlookers are like, did she just try to hypnotize them with her face? What is happening? Dr. Livingston would not be mentally cowed because their brain is quite strong. So then Professor Crystal just punches Dr. Livingston in the face very hard. Harder than you would think would be humanly possible. But in this case, that clearly is what happened. And
harder than you would think possible for an academic.
Yeah. So Professor Crystal did have to go away with security for a little while and say, that is not how we behave. How do you work out? You look kind of chubby for hey, muscle mass does not denote body type. Excuse me, could you not be fat phobic? When secretly it's vampire. I don't know if I want my outcome every time to be, oh, the overlords told me what to say and they're real. Cuz that seems not the point of the exercise.
It's true. Incidentally,
I think in this case, it's the overlords tell you what to say, and then you went ahead and said the other thing anyway, because you specifically made the point several times in your paper that vampires are trying to keep things secret, and then you are a vampire telling their secrets. So it's just like
hashtag Malkavian life. I'm here to keep the other clans on their toes. I'm now morbidly curious about OWAD, Holy Roman Empire.
Yeah, I was wondering, but
that would be Dark Ages. I'm sure someone's written something, even if it's just a fan write. Chat, give us more topics, or I might just go to Google and hit the I feel lucky button.
There you go. That's a great way to do it. Can't think of a topic. Go to Google and I feel lucky.
None of these are things I feel comfortable doing bullshit research on. Because they're all like real people and real countries.
Here we go. I got comedy movies.
I got Celebrating Somtum. Oh, it's so now they don't give you just a bunch of random articles. They give you all of the previous Google Doodles. In this case,
doggone it, Doogle's gone again.
Oh, I think it's actually a Google, because when you roll over it says I feel puzzled.
I'm feeling adventurous. Roll dice. Oh, thanks.
Oh god, it did move. It says I'm feeling doodly, and it's like
I'm feeling stellar.
I think
and I get Nebula.
Be a really hidden Google joke today. I'm feeling generous.
I'm feeling artistic. How about that?
Adventurous got me the art thing, so I'm very confused about that.
Anyway, I'm feeling adventurous got me the dice roller. So,
chat, do you want to help us out? Are you there, chat? Okay, Dave put in another one. The Roman Empire did not fall in 476.
That may be too historical. We just did history. I wanted to say the color red does not exist.
I would like. I'm thinking something more general than that, because there are three of us, and that's really a two-tone topic right there.
That's true. As it were.
As it were. I would say. Scientific inaccuracies of the current digital art palette, because magenta is not a real color either.
It's true.
It's a visual spectrum that your brain invents between blue and red, essentially.
That may be your position.
Yeah.
Okay. Apologies to Emily Jankowski, who wrote this game. We thought we'd have more people telling us what to debate about, so sorry. I forgot to mention we have a small audience. Loyal, but small, and they're not very talkative tonight.
I mean, you know,
we're
all only about so-so on bullshitting and maybe a little less than so-so on academic.
Oh,
if Puka were here, we maybe had a better time, but
I'm gangbusters on bullshitting. Like, have you seen my game?
I'm having a good time. Yeah. I don't know.
I'm having a good time. Yeah, I'm just like.
I was just hoping we had more. Oh, Dave. What is the best cat?
Ooh, I kind of like that.
I'm down for that.
One, if we want to do with that, yeah.
Oh yeah, fight's on. Let's do this.
Dave knows me too well. Now the next hour will just be me talking.
It's going to confuse me. Okay. So, who's got a position on this?
Sure. I'm gonna go with best cat is obviously the Siamese.
Okay. Chris.
I'm gonna go with best cat is the house panther. The domestic short hair house panther. I miss my house panther. She wasn't very smart, but she was mostly nice.
Okay. And clearly the best cat is my cat. So
Dave's like, Dave Schwartz, I mean, to me, all cats are the best cats. Well, you can't write a paper about that, sir. At least not in this game. Actually, maybe we could.
I mean, he can't.
Excuse me. I'm going to switch mine up. The best cat is the platonic ideal of cat.
Oh.
If you know about Plato's levels of...
Yes, I do.
There we go.
I have invoked them at weird times. Usually when describing Sleep No More as the platonic ideal of a LARP. which Josh would get. I don't know if Merc gets, because Merc doesn't live in New York City and do weird theater shit.
It's not just that. While I have never seen Sleep No More, it has in fact been one of the telling pieces for our long-running, well, several months old running discussion on the Hugo Discussion Committee of what exactly is a game and how can we define it for the purpose of giving out Hugos to it.
Interesting.
And Sleep No More is one of the really interesting edge cases.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, is you don't see Sleep No More, you experience it, you play it. Yeah, anyway. Maybe we'll do that next.
I've never the closest I've ever gotten to LARPing actually was the weekend disaster relief simulation, disaster cleanup simulation that I helped you can volunteer and be a victim or whatever for the National Guard.
If we're okay with spoiling a LARP, we should maybe at some point do a LARP on this channel.
What do you mean by spoiling a LARP?
Because if we play through a LARP, the people who see us playing the LARP are somewhat spoiled for actually them playing the LARP.
Given how every time I've run Demon Hunters at Gen Con, maybe I've had 3 players of all the games I've run who actually knew what Zoe even was. I wouldn't be so worried. I mean, well, the thing is, to LARP, we'd all have to be in one place, and...
No.
Yes.
You kind of...
That's a second topic we can do. We actually want to be serious, but it's actually a serious topic.
What is a LARP?
Yes.
Okay.
What is a LARP?
There's in fact been an explosion of online LARP over the course of the pandemic.
I've been in LARP groups running online games, you know, since Mind's Eye Society did that, but I still don't know. That's basically like a chat room LARP, and it really just comes down to LARPing because it's large numbers of gamers with multiple GMs. But we can talk
about this later.
Yeah. It's like, well, now we're all in debate mode, and I'm like, but what is a LARP?
What is a LARP is the essential question, of course. But
that can be our next topic. We're discussing what's the best cat. So, all right, rolling to see who goes first. 4. Neme, you're up first.
Sure. Black and white and good all over. Shows that through longevity, height and jump size, and playfulness, and ability to stay hiding for long periods. The Siamese, in all various kinds of points, is clearly the best cat by all measures.
Please say your sources.
Okay, is that it?
Yeah, sure, why not?
Okay.
I'm trying to just show that it's the best cat statistically. That's obviously the right way.
Chris, 1 or 20?
1.
20. I'm going next. Okay. On the ontogeny of cats. By what measure is a cat the best? This paper seeks to prove that the perfect cat is the ideal to which all cats aspire, not necessarily a specific specimen. Each cat in existence has its own distinct set of physical characteristics, mental characteristics, and standards to which it aspires or falls short. And in no way does any of these shortcomings make it less of a cat. However, the best cat is just beyond the reach of every cat alive. It is what exists when you distill all the cats in the universe down into the epitome of cat. Each cat reflects the characteristics of this perfect cat, but does not contain it in their entirety. To seek the eternal cat is an endeavor that people who compete in competitions and breed and do and interact with cats seek, but this paper, as stated in this paper, they will not find it because it is always just a bit beyond where they are currently. Therefore, it is this the ideal of cat that is perfect, as opposed to any one cat. I may have used ontogeny incorrectly.
I don't even remember what that word means. You're fine.
Cool. Worst misuse of it there? Ah! Hello, Emily. So far, we have debated upon the correct pluralization of octopus and the Holy Roman Empire.
Neither holy nor Roman nor an empire discuss.
Yep.
That one got weird. In both, I seem to have magical evil overlords telling me what to say, which I feel like was a cop-out.
All right.
I'm very tempted to go to the same direction here.
And I believe that makes it your turn, Chris, because you're the last one to go.
Currently, our topic was chosen by Dave. What is the best cat?
If you would like to suggest topics, you can do so.
We're
currently watching chat to make sure we catch them.
We were going to use channel points for that, but chat's been a bit slower than we expected, so just give us topics as you see fit.
Yep. Because normally we use channel points to make sure that we can see them and go back through because we keep a log. But if it's going to be this slow, then just say them. Yeah. We'll watch.
Yeah. All right. So Professor Chrysla, hello. My paper today is House Panthers, behaviorally, ecologically, and humanely sound. So most would see the domestic short-haired black cat, historically, superstitiously seen as a nuisance, but really it is the best cat of all cats and is the ultimate cat. Aside from encompassing a wide range of behaviors and temperaments within one breed, you do not need to enact inhumane practices of cat breeding in which to obtain a house panther, in which they are often very freely available and are often the last adopted in any shelter, which is very sad. Once home, said house panther becomes the ultimate home ninja, and can easily be made part of your home defense system, as it does not really need to hide. Once the lights are out, you can't see it, which means it's awesome. And by adopting more house panthers, and by doing the proper due diligence of a pet owner to neuter and otherwise fix said cats, we managed to decrease the overall population of cats as sad homeless kitties across the world. Also, oh, I lost my train of thought. Darn it. Well, my minute's up anyway. I was gonna make another point, and I just, my brain just like, nope, fuck you, Chris. Oh yes, ultimately, black cats being the ultimate cat, as all cat coats are genetically tending towards black. So, they will all eventually be black cats anyway. Thus they are the best. Okay. And I'm done. Or I've run out of time to keep reading my abstract.
Sure. A correction and rebuttal. Jorts is the best cat.
Jorts! Jorts!
As a correction to my previous paper, Siamese are not the best cat because having made extensive examination of the cat Jorts, Jorts is clearly better than all Siamese, as being cuddlier and fluffier, and bouncier, and most importantly, visible, which Siamese frequently are not. As such, Jorts is better than the Siamese. Additionally, Jorts is better than a black cat because Jorts can be found, whereas black cats cannot. And Jorts is clearly more fluffy and cuddlier than a panther. than a house panther, since house panthers have short fur, which is been shown to be less cuddly than big red fur. Additionally, Jorts is clearly better than the platonic ideal of cat, because Jorts exists, and all cats that exist are better than cats that do not exist, because the cats that do not exist cannot be cuddled. A conclusion. In conclusion, Jorts is the best cat.
Also, SJW cat.
Well, yes.
Chat, if you haven't found follow Jorts on Twitter. He's amazing. He's a cat that stands up for human rights, labor rights, trans rights, etc. And basically, right-wing pundits have devoted entire Twitter rants to arguing semantics and politics with an orange tabby cat who still wins the argument, and then some of those Twitter assholes get banned for arguing politics with an orange cat. And it's just there's nothing that isn't amazing about this Twitter account. Jorts, we love you. Keep doing what you're doing, bro. I still use Twitter lists in some contexts, and one of them is just cats and cuteness, and Jorts is on it, of course. Because at the end of the day, I just need to look at a Twitter feed that's just all cats and nothing else. Anyway, next, Professor Livingston.
Professor Livingston. Yes, I can't keep up the accent and BS at the same time, unfortunately.
That's fine.
It's like trying to pat my head and rub my tummy. Just doesn't work.
I'm not even doing accents tonight, and I'm just nope.
All right. My paper is on the phylogeny of cats, a response to Jorts and house panthers. So, in the papers, house panthers, behaviorally, ecologically, and humanly sound, and a correction and rebuttal, Jorts is best cat. Professor Chrysilla and Dr. Neme make the points that cats, existing forms of cat, are good and helpful, depending on various other factors. However, they have overlooked the fact that there are also downsides to extant forms of cats. Namely, that according to all previous research, they expire after approximately 20 to 25 years, at most. However, the perfect ideal of cat will always exist, especially as long as cats themselves exist. Therefore, the ideal of cat, that inherent catness to which all cats strive, is longer lasting and more enduring than a mere manifestation of cat. Therefore, it might even be argued that the ideal of cat may in fact outlast the extant cats themselves. If the entire species, family of species, should go extinct, records would still show what a cat was, and the ideal of cat would remain beyond the extinction event. Therefore, the ideal of cat is the best cat, because it is the catness at the core of all things cat, and in this way preserves the ideal of cat for future generations. Any instances of cat are good cats, but they are by definition not the ideal, i.e. best cat. I know, notes are such a mess.
How many academic papers do you read? Not necessarily that bad. Just, we're also not actually writing them down.
No, I'm actually referring to the fact that I have spelled behaviorally, ecologically, and sound incorrectly.
Yeah, but I can't. No, we can't see that. It's just
no, I'm sitting here reading through all the spelling errors in the notes I've written so far. I'm like, these are terrible notes.
Do we want to go around once more on this one?
No, Chris says do it, and that's the end of it. Unless you want this one to go again.
Unless we could go again, because we clearly all have feelings.
Yeah, but no, you went Neme, me, and then Chris.
Yeah, I still have to go.
We have one more response from Chris that we need. Then if we want to go another round after that, we can.
I just wanted to write down my title because I've been doing that. House Panthers, still the best, but not alone in awesomeness. By Professor Chrysala. It has become a new and very loud opinion in the cat lovers community that the platonic ideal of a cat is both superior and outlasting to extant cats themselves. However, I must agree with my contemporary Dr. Neme on the correction and rebuttal paper that you cannot snuggle an ideal. You cannot snuggle a shadow in a cave. However, house panthers are already corporeal shadows, so they can be both. That says, I am also in awe of Jorts as spokesperson for the human race. That said, I am still, while I am very
This researcher is
correct, in which Jorts is also awesome. However, as Jorts is one cat who primarily expresses themselves on the internet, Jorts can also not be cuddled by me. Thus, a black cat in the lap is worth more to me than an orange cat on the internet. However awesome Jorts is. House panthers as a species can be as visible or invisible as they like, or sometimes by accident, either way. As some black cats are unaware that when they stand still on a white carpet under a glass table that they are not actually as invisible as they are in the basement. See personal anecdote on page 23. But yes. House panthers are still the best, as they do not have to be specifically bred. General house cats tend to be black. And they are just they are cuddly ninjas and they are awesome. The end. Or the beginning.
Yeah.
The abstract.
All right. Do you want to go? So I think that was our break timer, if I mistake myself.
Oh no, that was me timing everyone's. I've been timing 1 minute and 2 minutes.
Okay.
So because otherwise it wasn't working. So our break time would be about I wrote that down.
You said 8:50, as I recalled, that's why I'm like, oh, that must be the break.
Yeah, as I estimated, we would be at break. So
the question is, do you want to continue this after break? Do you want to end the stream after this? Do you want to roll for fist fight now, and end the stream if we're all tired enough?
Do we actually want to end this one with a fist fight? It seems all fairly good natured.
We kind of want to end it with a cuddle pile of kitties.
Yeah.
we end it with everyone gets a cat from the shelter,
except me because I'm allergic.
Oh, well, I technically am too, but this is make-believe Gamerland. That's
true.
Yeah.
My black cat Georgie really didn't understand that she's only a ninja sometimes.
Let's roll for it anyway.
Very cute.
2. Chris wins the fist fight anyway. My dice is liking you too much for the fist fight roll. This is the third time you've won the fist fight.
It's a good time for you to have good luck because you're not the GM.
time that dice has rolled a 1 or a 2 to determine who wins the fist fight.
I don't, who is fist fighting, actually? I wasn't clear. I guess I was most disparaging of Dr. Livingston's paper.
Play ends when responses become too personal and are therefore completely unpublishable by the journal. As an epilogue, the academics are assumed to have gotten into a fist fight at a conference. So basically, it would be a 3-way fist fight at this point.
Which I still win. Because Black Cats are the House Panthers are the best.
And you know, if you sit and look at a cave, sitting in a cave looking at shadows, then you're probably not exercising.
But Black Cats are shadows also, so I win both ways! No. Yes, no, I don't know. I'm still not sure whether I would have wanted Puka to play with us tonight because they're an actual professor and, like, their brain might have exploded by now.
Yeah.
Or they would have wiped the floor with all of us by now.
I'm pretty sure that was, I think, Porque no los dos for that one. But I'm pretty sure their brain was exploded because sitting here listening to us misusing words.
Well, this is...
Well, we'll see if they're willing to sit through and review this, as it were.
Yeah, that's the thing. Journals.
That is not what that word means. That is not what that word means. That is not what that word means.
Journals have peer review for a reason. What do you think this word means? Jesus Christ, man.
All right. So.
This would be where we take our 10-minute break. Guys, do you want to take a break, or do you think this is a nice place to conclude for the evening? As cats are awesome, and now I have fluffy feelings.
I think it's a good place to conclude.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the Emily J, thanks for stopping in. We had fun with your game.
Yep.
This will be a VOD if you want to catch the beginning of us, well, mostly me flailing through. Wait, what do we do now? What? What? But thank you for making such a lovely game, and thank you for adding it as part of the Trans Rights in Texas bundle.
Yep.
Which is where we got it, or where Mark got it, and I still need to get my copy, because I didn't understand how the website worked. I thought you just downloaded a giant zip file, and I'm like, oh, I don't know if I want to deal with that right now. And they're like, no, it's like a one payment subscription service. And I'm like, well, I feel stupid now, but yay! I'm gonna go get it now.
I mean, you know, that's just how digital retailers of RPGs have been working now. You do it at the Pinnacle store, you do it at Drive-Thru RPG or whatever, you're buying PDFs or whatever. But,
Yep, and
that has been your pseudo-academic nonsense for this evening.
Indeed. Ending with cute cats.
Kitties! Good job, Dave.
Well done.
Well done. The internet is now a tiny bit more about cats than it was 5 minutes ago. Unless that is really the platonic ideal of cats, is just that the internet is cats. We could riff on this all night, but not in an organized way. I don't know. Or we could come back in 10 minutes and debate for an hour what is a LARP.
I think that might get too serious, though.
Yeah, we might get too angry about that.
What?
If they do, can I play the What is a LARP game?
Yes, we probably won't.
Okay.
Or this just launches a whole new show on Magic Fish Radio, which is debate weird stuff for an hour, or until Chris gets sleepy.
It's not an awful idea.
Anyway, chat, thanks for tuning in tonight, or if you're watching the VOD, thank you from the future for the temporary use of your eyeballs and eardrums. This is Magic Fish Radio. We do tabletop RPG streams on Tuesdays and Saturday nights. Tuesday nights is currently Vampire the Masquerade, Eldritch Adversaries, which is V5 set in the roaring 1920s, where our party, it's 1921 and we might have just brought a bunch of Hessian German troops into Paris. Whoops.
That won't end up coming back to haunt you.
And I think we might be we should be getting a new player in, and they might be a World War I veteran, so might be awkward that Paris is full of Germans.
That won't come back to bite you in 10 to 15 years.
Yeah, We're a bit early, but I'm playing a Malkavian, so maybe it's just a future echo. And on Saturday nights, we alternate between Indie TTRPG Night and Exit to Eden, which is the NWAD in Space campaign that I run, that these two ridiculous people like to play in. Josh is a hacker vampire, and Merc is a wolf.
Is the token human nominally?
Is the token human? Yes, but also a wolf-blooded human.
Big caveats on token human there.
And they are a Supernat Underground Railroad because in the future, Supernats are out and an excellent government scapegoat. They need a Jorts. That N1 in space needs a Jorts to just Supernat
Jorts in space. That's what Jelly Chat's for.
If you are tabletop RPG designer, writer, artist, contributor, fan person,
enthusiast,
and you would like to run a one-shot of your favorite indie RPG on this channel, join our Discord and chat with us about it, because I keep not scheduling other guest GMs because I am bad at being a channel producer. So if y'all could, we'll vibe check you, we'll take a look at your game to make sure it's, cool, but for the most part, they've been cool. So, yeah. So join our Discord. I'm gonna put...
Still waiting for Puka to run Honey Heist.
Yeah. I have also heard, there's another version of that game called Sloths in Space, which I have seen run, and that would also be nice. But I don't know if I can talk slow enough to play a sloth. So I might have to run it. But yeah, Honey Heist...
but if you're a Bauer, you can just talk with like this.
Yeah, Honey Heist, Puka. I'm a Gwizwi Gawao. My quas to Agwo. So yeah. Me personally, as we start outros, I am at Ms. Chrysala on Twitter and other social medias. I'm also at Magicfish Radio. And I'm the channel producer and Angry Kermit here. So if you're talking to MFR somewhere, you're probably talking to me. I don't think we're big enough that anyone would try to mirror an account of us. What would even be... If they got a bigger following than us, that would be sad-larious. But yeah, I do all the things here, and on Thursday nights, we've only got like 3 games left of A Romp Across Ravnica on We Are Nerdsmith on Twitch, where I play a Tabaxi barbarian named Moo, who recently we went into Orzhov territory, and her Selesnyan hippie brain cannot really comprehend wealth at that scale, or just wealth. Like, it was an interesting game where we didn't actually start any fights, but it was still like a lot of internal processing and obstacles. But yeah,
you should put like the apple buffering thing on a stick and just hold it in front of your face whenever you need to think.
Moo is the barbarian is buffering. I basically play her. I'll get to this. Anyway, I'm gonna go look for someone to raid. So Merc, who are you, and what would you like to plug for today?
I'm Merc. This evening I played Dr. D. Livingston, and I don't really do much outside of this. I'm on the Discords, I'm on the Twitters, I'm there. I just don't do anything with it. The perpetual reblogger, that's me. But on Monday, the Zombie Orpheus Entertainment is doing the season start of the next and final season of The Reliables, season 5. So you can pop onto their channel for that. It's usually pretty funny.
Have they announced what they're going to do after?
Yeah. There haven't been any official announcements yet.
Okay. Next, Dr. Neme.
Sure. So I'm Josh, or Neme. You can find me various places, but more specifically, with my filk band Goldberry, which has like 6 people in it now. We're doing a 1-hour concert next Sunday. That's the Sunday the 20th. At Festival of the Living Rooms, which if you Google for Festival of the Living Rooms, you will find the Facebook group, which can get you in. There are some various things trying to make the Zoom less visible so that we don't necessarily have quite as many random Zoom bombers coming in. But it'll be a lot of fun, and we've been and we're gonna get the entire band in person in a room, which this time and have actual polyphony. It'll be a lot of fun. But I'll also plug we were talking about cats and Twitter cats. Platonic Floof on Twitter is the cat of a friend of mine. And is an amazing cat and super fluffy, and I will get to touch it occasionally. And also hyperallergenic for those of us who care about that kind of thing.
What is the Twitter handle again?
Platonic Floof, one word.
Floofs are also a specific species in N1 in space now. As are jellycats. No one knows why the jellycat. They just exist. And are sometimes your friend. And sometimes try to save you from abyssal monsters. Can you tell I am very pro-cats, even though I am also severely allergic? Which is sad, because I finally live in an apartment where I can have cats, and nope, I'll die. And if I die, then the cat dies, unless they can escape. So, sad face. So I live vicariously through Twitter. Alright, we are going to raid the Games Tavern, who are playing Dungeons & Dragons tonight. Okay, they have follower or subscriber only chat, but we can raid them. So, chat, thanks again for hanging out with us tonight. Join our Discord if you want to ask us questions or talk about cats more. I might just start a whole thread about cats. I don't remember if we have one yet, but we can always add one.
There's memes and ish posting.
Yeah. Plenty of cats and memes and ish posting. So, Platonic Floof. So yeah, chat, I hope we gave you adequate nerdy distractions for a few hours. Until we see you next time, please take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and please Diablerize responsibly.